Hey there, and welcome to another Dave Does. Today we are doing a Patreon request. Today's Patreon sponsored video is up here. Thank you very much for supporting the channel. It is greatly appreciated. I don't normally do these sort of ones. This is a drum composition. Now, the reason I don't do drum compositions is I'm not a very good drummer. I can play drums, but I never put enough practice into my playing to do all the technical learnings. I had enough so that I could go and play with a band live, but if there was something I didn't know how to play on the drums, I'd go off and we'd rewrite the part so that I could make it work with what I did know. So I don't feel I'm in the best way or best position to give feedback on a purely drum composition. I don't mind it so much when it's a whole song and the drums is just part of it, because I can kind of give a bit of feel on what I think the drummer might be going through. But when you talk about a purely drum one, people kind of expect me to give a bit more detail. So I don't know what this is going to be like, but I'll see how it goes. This is Drums by David. David is, I believe, the drummer from the band Motion Device. Great band. I've heard his drumming from the band Motion Device, so I want to see what this one is all about. As always, if you like this video, please do subscribe, click the bell icon, like, share, leave your comments down below. There is no pausing or talking during the video. That way you get to enjoy the video, I get to enjoy the video, and we'll share my thoughts and feelings at the end. So Drums by David, Scatterbrain. Let's get into this. 3, 2, 1, go! Okay, there we go. Drums by David and Scatterbrain. Great little track. A great little showcase of different sort of techniques that he was doing in there. So the bits that I can talk about, what I can kind of just talk about what I think was going through his head when writing the piece. So using a little sample just to get a bit of progression to start with, he used what was basically a reverse cymbal. So you can't physically play a reverse cymbal. So what he's done is he's obviously put a second drum track up there with the hi-hat. He's recorded the hi-hat as per normal, how he wanted it, and then basically you take it, you flip it, drop it back in and drag it back to so effectively your reverse points are coming in at where you want them. So whereas you normally get it would be the hi-hat, you're getting, and so basically you're just flipping the whole mix of the track. Now you've got to be careful with it because you can sometimes sound a bit odd if you cut it incorrectly, but as long as you line it up and your tempo was good, which his was, it sounds great. And so then he's used that as kind of a little bit backing. So yeah, a nice little intro there, bit of a play around. What I really liked was his control over his cymbal positioning, and what I mean there is not where his cymbals were, but where he was hitting the cymbal. So he had great control over where he was hitting the kind of the middle of the cymbal, he was hitting the rim or the bell. So he was flipping quite comfortably rather from the main part of the cymbal, sort of the mid-range, to the bell and back again whilst playing over the same tempo beat, rather than some people just play straight onto the bell or straight off the kind of side. Some people on the rim. Didn't do a lot of rims there unless he was trying to accent or there's a couple of times here I think on the second part of the composition where he was playing more on the edges, which is fine because he's trying to get a bit more of a louder sound, a bit more energy. Then it gets into the second part of the song and he's got the and what I think this part of the song was great for was showing how one looped riff has so many different drum styles that you could play over the top of it. And it's almost like showing us what would happen if you were a guitarist and you came to him and said, I've got this riff, let's come up with a pattern or drum that will work with it. And he literally just cycled through a whole load of different tempos that you could have possibly used in a song. And flowed really nicely. So he went from a standard like where the kick drum was basically following what the bass line was doing, to one where he was playing on the offbeats, to some where he was doing accent shots and rim shots, to somewhere he was keeping it just nice and simple and solid. Then he was going off into more sort of jazzier styles. So all of which though worked perfectly with the actual riff that he had. So it's a great example of, I guess, drum writing techniques. And just coming up with ideas rather than going for the obvious one, which the obvious one over like a would be literally that. That's the obvious one. It fits, it's simple, and he's just showing you how you can do so many other things than that and play outside of the box. So I hope that helps. Now, if you like this video, please do subscribe, click the bell icon, like, share, leave your comments down below, and that of course is how Dave does it.